Hey guys, I wanted to follow up just a little bit on our round one of the BX versus 1 series review that we're doing. I wouldn't really consider this a round two. Rather, I want to focus on some comments that you guys have made, some points that you brought up that I didn't realize. Again, I'm not incredibly knowledgeable on the Kubota tractors. Your feedback on this is really helpful. I sorted by popularity, which comments had the most likes and which comments had the most replies, to try to get on the ones that people thought were the most important. The number one was, I'm interested in your thoughts on Kubota's treadle pedal versus Deere's hydro pedals. We'll get to that, no question about that. We'll talk about that in length, and I hope we can actually show some close-ups of that and just give our opinions on that. That'll be tough, but we'll do it. Neil Messick, gotta love you, Neil. He says, have fun with your plastic aluminum Yanmar tractor. Hey, you got the talking points down, Neil. We're trying to get with something that actually matters. Next up, I really wish folks would stop comparing the Kubota BX to a John Deere 1025R. What? We got this comment probably 50 times. Several times on our YouTube channel, but a lot of times on the Kubota Facebook group, or actually a couple of Kubota Facebook groups. Well, why wouldn't we compare the BX to the 1 series? I mean, they're direct competitors. Several folks said we ought to be comparing the B series, the larger B series. Well, it's not even a close comparison. I'm not sure why anyone would find value in comparing a clearly different class tractor. I mean, in this case, we're dealing with two subcompact tractors. These tractors are very, very similar in specifications. I can't imagine why this comparison is unfair or invalid in the selection of the tractors. I do wish we had a BX23S so that we could compare backhoe, but well, this is what we got. Here's another one. I dispute your claim that they are the two premier tractors because Massey Ferguson is the top seller worldwide. Sure, JD is tops in America, but Massey Ferguson's still top. Okay, well, I'll just kind of stop there. We're talking about subcompact tractors here. We're not talking about every tractor. Well, for instance, Mahindra claims to be the #1 selling tractor worldwide. Well, I think that's kind of stretching as well, because they don't even sell by the Mahindra brand in some of these other regions. To my knowledge, in the subcompact tractor market, the Deere and Kubota far outsell other brands. Kubota claims to be #1. Deere, I know, sells a lot of tractors. I happened to hear the Massey sales numbers from 2018, and they weren't even close to the big two. So I don't think I stretched by saying that Deere and Kubota are by far the most popular subcompact tractors. It's really all I was saying, and I think that's still fair. Okay, this is probably one of the most popular comments and one of the most popular flaws that was pointed out in our video. The knob right below the seat on the BX will keep the mower deck from lowering with a 3-point hitch. Turn it to the top marking and it will lock the mower deck all the way up. Even if you have the deck removed, it should be set to the top position when using 3-point attachments. Yes, this knob behaves just like the knob on the 1025R. So I understand how the knob works. Let me show you where the knob is if you're not aware of it. It's right here. The thing is, my knob will not go to the top position. Let me fire the tractor up and make sure the 3-point is all the way to the top, and I'll show you. Okay, I raised the 3-point hitch all the way to the top, and I cannot get this knob. I can make it turn counterclockwise all the way down to 0, and I can make it turn clockwise all the way to 4, but I cannot make it turn to the top position. That's why it wasn't in the top position for round 1. So I figured out what's going on with the mower lock on this Kubota BX as to why I'm not able to get it into the locked position. Well, I can get it into the locked position now, but I don't know if you can see it very well. But that's all I can do really is what I'm doing. It's got kind of a corkscrew look to it. This is almost identical to the lift adjustment mechanism on the 1025R. And when you get to the lock position, there's just one more click there that's much higher than the rest. The mechanism wasn't being lifted high enough for me to get it into the lock position. So I'll have to bring the camera around to the back and show you how I adjusted that. and made it work. This is where that 3-point rock shaft attaches to the mower lift mechanism. And I had to take my 17mm wrench and screw that bolt in further, allowing this to lift higher. So I actually put it in essentially all the way. There's a jam nut there that has to be loosened, and then this bolt tightened to push it down. So after I got it down essentially all the way, as tight as it would go with that jam nut, it was high enough that the lock mechanism worked. Folks are saying you can only turn it clockwise, but when I get it high enough like that, I can actually turn it counterclockwise too. So that bolt seemed to be the adjustment that needed to be done. Tim, you missed something very important. The Deere 1025R's 3-point arms are reversible. They provide different geometry depending on how you mount them. One way gives you higher lift height. Please reverse them and show the viewers how it changes things for better or worse. Thanks for the work you do. Hey, I appreciate that. Yes, you are absolutely correct. The lift arm is a little bit longer. Let's see, I believe it's in this direction than this direction. You can reverse these arms to change them around. You have to take this off, mount it on the other side, right? So the arm is reversed. In one position, you'll get a little bit more lift height. In the other position, you'll get a little bit more lift capacity. I don't have the 3-point hitch on the tractor right now because I had to use the backhoe on a project this past weekend. But I think one thing we should realize is that the Kubota won both the lift height and the lift capacity tests. So no matter which way these are positioned, it won't change the outcome of that test. It may change the amount of weight, it may change the amount of lift height. I'll try to get to that at some point into the future, but I have the backhoe on now, so, well, it'll have to wait. But one other area I probably should address is the age and history of this tractor. I really don't know much about the history of it. I know that it came from Wisconsin, and I know that it had 167 hours on it when we got it. I've put a couple hours on it, and I've noticed a couple of things that are, well, you know, need work. There's some sort of hydraulic leak here under the, well, above the mower deck. And there's another hydraulic leak, I believe, at the single point connector up there. So we have oil all over the deck here, and we have oil separately all over the floor here. It's kind of hard for me to tell where those leaks are at present. It does look like one of them is at the single point. I hope it's not a broken hydraulic line under the floorboard there. I don't know what it is yet. Once I get the mower deck out from under there, I can get under there and look a little better. We'll see what that leak is. Now those types of leaks would be covered under warranty. If they're just loose connections, they'll be easy to fix. I'll fix them myself. And I would say that while you have, maybe there might be certain connections on certain tractors that tend to come loose or leak more, for the most part, every brand of tractor is prone to having some hydraulic leaks. Seeing hydraulic oil dripping out of your tractor is not something to panic too much about. Just find the source of it and solve it. Sometimes it can be serious, but most of the time it's just a loose connection. And that's what I'm going to assume this is. Now I discussed how these sway bars, or I called them stabilizers, I couldn't think of the name sway bar, how they won't allow a 3-point hitch arm to move wide enough to detach from an implement. Remember, that's the non-quick hitch approach. If you're on a quick hitch, that's not an issue. Anyway, a commenter had a great idea. He said he would remove the cotter pin there and actually put a quick connect pin in so that he could just detach that quickly. You just have to do it on one side, and that'll let the arms swing and will, you know, kind of just help you not have that limitation of those sway bars being all the way tight and not allowing you to disconnect from attachment. That's a great idea, something I would recommend. Now here's what I meant by the position control. I think maybe it's not described very well. On the BX, you can go down or up. So if you hold it back, the 3-point hitch tries to go up. If you go forward, it lowers the 3-point hitch. If you go back, it raises the 3-point hitch. This behaves just like your loader joystick. If you pull it back, it goes up. If you push it forward, it goes down. This is identical. On the Deere, we have a full position control. So we can set it anywhere along this. I'll move the lever down so you can see it here. So we can set it at any height. We have this little mechanism here which allows us to set our depth control. So if you always want to go a particular depth, you set it right there. Now this is not perfect. This is it swells outward. So this little thing doesn't attach perfectly. It did much better on my 2014, but the position control concept works great if you want to set it at number 4, number 5. And you learn with your attachment and your conditions where to set that, so then you can lock that right down. Again, it would be better if it's held close, but you get the point. This could be solved with a bigger washer, I think. I need to do that. It has kind of stretched. Okay, one question I have for you Kubota fans. I want to ask about, well, hopefully you can hear it here. When I start the tractor and when I turn it off, I get a squealing noise as it starts and as it turns off. It sounds like a belt slipping somewhere. So I wanted to get your feedback to see if you could help me diagnose what it is, and if it's normal. Maybe it's just a normal sound with a BX starting. Maybe it's not. Again, I don't know the history of this tractor. By no means am I trying to malign the brand or the tractor with this question. Something like this, if it is a failure or something's gone wrong, well, it can be fixed. I just need to understand what we're dealing with. Can you hear this? I don't exactly know where it's coming from. It actually sounds like it might be coming from under the floorboard. Maybe there's something loose under there. Your feedback would help a lot. Help me to understand where to look to see if I can figure out what's going on there. So next up is our mower review. We intend to discuss turning radius of the tractor, ease of removal and attaching the mower, maybe some cut quality, although my grass is pretty much dead, so it's gonna be hard to tell that very well. What else should we cover from a standpoint of mowing? We will talk about the treadle pedal, maybe some just operator comforts around that. I don't know if we want to dedicate an episode around the operator station, or if we just want to talk about it in context of doing certain jobs. We got to figure that out yet. We don't really know how many episodes we're going to do on this series. Folks, we do thank you for watching, and it's our intent to provide useful information. It's not our intent to sell you a tractor. I don't care which one you buy. I hope you find it enjoyable. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.